How did the Cold War influence the El Salvador Civil War? Have you ever wondered how global politics can shape local conflicts? The El Salvador Civil War, which lasted from 1979 to 1992, is a prime example of this phenomenon. This conflict was deeply affected by the Cold War, a time when the United States and the Soviet Union were vying for influence around the world. At the heart of the war was a struggle between the Salvadoran government and a leftist guerrilla group known as the Farabundo Martí National Liberation Front. The government received strong support from the United States, while the guerrillas found inspiration and backing from communist nations like Cuba and the Soviet Union. This ideological clash was a major factor in escalating the conflict. The United States viewed El Salvador as a crucial battleground against the spread of communism, especially after the Cuban Revolution and the rise of the Sandinistas in Nicaragua. To counter this perceived threat, the United States provided extensive military and economic assistance to the Salvadoran government throughout the 1980s. This support included funding, training, and military equipment for government forces engaged in counterinsurgency operations against the guerrillas. As a result of this backing, the Salvadoran government adopted increasingly brutal tactics. Death squads emerged, committing human rights abuses such as kidnappings, torture, and extrajudicial killings of suspected leftist sympathizers. These actions only fueled further resistance and prolonged the war, leading to a cycle of violence that devastated the country. The Cold War context turned the Salvadoran conflict into a part of a larger pattern of proxy wars in Latin America. Local disputes were intensified by the rivalry between superpowers. The United States, learning from its experiences in Vietnam, increased its military involvement to prevent any leftist government from gaining power in the region. By the late 1980s, the war reached a stalemate. Neither side could claim a decisive victory, and international pressure for peace grew. This shift in dynamics eventually led to peace negotiations and the signing of the Chapultepec Peace Accords in 1992. However, the war left deep scars on Salvadoran society, with tens of thousands of lives lost and widespread social upheaval. From a Latin cultural perspective, the Cold War's influence on the El Salvador Civil War shows how external conflicts can complicate local struggles. There were disrupted communities, displaced families, and left a legacy of trauma that continues to affect the nation today. It also highlights the resilience of the Salvadoran people, who have worked tirelessly for justice and peace in their homeland. Understanding this history is essential for addressing ongoing challenges in El Salvador and the wider region. It serves as a reminder of the importance of respecting national sovereignty and human rights while acknowledging the lasting effects of Cold War interventions in Latin America.